today we're going to make Mars bar slice. So first start off by lining a baking dish with baking paper, and then we're going to get our Mars bars. All that we need, 4 Mars bars, and we're going to dice up 3 of them into chunks. If you can't get Mars bars, you could use something like Snickers or some other type of caramel chocolate bar. Alright, let's dice them up. Without knocking over the camera. Alright, we'll be back once they're diced. Now once they're diced, you want to combine the chopped Mars bars in a saucepan that's on low with 1 tablespoon of golden syrup, also known as light treacle, and 50 grams of butter until it's a really thick consistency, which you will see in a few moments. So we want 50 grams of butter. Let me just get a clean knife. Now my butter has it labelled on there, so I know exactly how much I need. Doesn't matter if it's a little bit off. And then I can just take the paper off, and then I can put this straight into the saucepan. And then we're going to put in 1 tablespoon of golden syrup. And don't forget to clean up your mess as you go. It does make life a little bit easier. While we're waiting for that to heat up, we can go start preparing some other stuff. So we need 3 cups of rice bubbles or Rice Krispies. Cup, 2 cups, 3 cups, and then we need to chop the last Mars bar and put in with this. I cut this one up just a little bit finer. I cut this Mars bar up just a little bit finer. That way it can melt when all the other hot ingredients are added. As you can see there, a little bit small. Not a lot, but a little bit. Just give them a little bit of mixer there. While in there, all through it. Don't really need to, but I do it. Why not? It's getting there, but we don't want it to boil. We just want it to heat up, and eventually it will come together. So we just have to keep mixing and combining it. Smash it up a little bit. Starting to come together now, but not quite. Oh, it's nearly there. You can see how it's lifting off the bottom, and it's almost like slime, like kid slime that they play with. So the idea is to get all parts of that chocolate bar all melted and combined and sticking together. And then what we're going to do, because this is pretty much done, this is the consistency that you want, we are going to mix it with those Rice Krispies or rice bubbles. Now, I know this doesn't look like a lot of mixture, but it goes a long way. Use the spatula to get every last bit out. And then just give it a good mix. You may have to get in there with your fingers. But don't burn yourself. Be very, very careful. Alright, that's how we want it. All nice and combined. And now we're going to grab our pan that's going to go into our dish. And now we're going to pour it in and flatten it down. Oh, I need my spoon. Alright, and we just spread it out. Hold on, I think it was uneven. There we go. I find it easier just to do it with the back of the spoon. Once again, you can get in there with your fingers if it is needed. Just make sure your hands are nice and clean because everyone's got to eat this. Well, it's not going to last long anyway. It is not going to last long in your house. If you make this and you have children, especially teenagers, it will not last long. This part doesn't have to look perfect because once you melt the chocolate and put over the top, it's going to be pretty yummy. And chocolate's going to make it look good too. Alright, so this recipe only calls for 1 block of chocolate, but I use 2. Let me grab them. So, I'm using a combination of milk chocolate and dark, but you don't have to. You can just use milk chocolate or you can just use dark. Alright, so now we want to melt both of those packets and pour it on top of this. This recipe also calls for copha to be melted with the chocolate. If you can't get copha, it doesn't matter. You can leave it out. Sometimes I do leave it out. But for the purpose of this video, I've used it. And copha is vegetable shortening. Alright, now we just pour it all over. Find our spatula. Oh, this will work. This will work. And then just, yes, I'm using a vegetable spoon. Actually, I'm going to use a normal spoon. So we can use the back of it. See, and even the 2 blocks, because it soaks in, it's still not really a very big coating. This is why I usually use extra. But it'll taste good. Usually I use an extra block just because I like to have a nice flat coating on top. Just spread the chocolate everywhere. And with the extra coating, it kind of holds it together more. That is a lot of chocolate. Alright, now we just leave that to set. And then cut it up into little squares. And it pays to use a hot knife. So that way it just melts through the chocolate. Time to cut it up. It's all cut up. Looking very yummy. Over here in Australia, we make this quite a bit, especially for things like birthdays or Christmas. But you can also make it any time of the year, because why not? And it's yummy as.